Mindset is 80% of our success. Seeing the world is working for you, trusting in yourself, having confidence, and putting the practices into place to keep you in the game, even when it gets hard. Building a business is not for the faint of heart. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be emotional roller coasters, okay? All that means is that we get to continue to lean in and try something new and be the empowered leader that we are here to be because we have it on our heart to serve, which leads me to my second pillar, which is serve first. Serving our clients with value is so key. We want to make sure that we're sharing with our ideal clients value that is actually congruent to the solutions and the results that they want. I love to talk about the energy of generosity because I think so many times we get into this kind of tunnel vision where we see that there's only this much, there's one pie, and if I don't get my share, there's not going to be enough. I don't believe in that. I believe in generosity. I believe in what I like to call the abundant bakery. And that means that there's more than enough for everybody. If we run out of one pie, we'll make another. Right? We can go back in the bakery at any time, and there is an abundance of clients for you. There is an abundance of opportunity for you. There is an abundance of money and income for you. There's abundance of time freedom for you, right? But we have to believe that and be in the energy of trusting that the value that we put out there and the generosity that we put out there actually comes back to us. Then we move into number 3, which is actually having a simple, repeatable system. Right? When I first started growing my business, I felt like I was kind of popsicle sticking and duct taping things together. We just have to be, aware that when we are taking multiple things from different places and it's not simple and it's not repeatable, we get overwhelmed. Our nervous system goes like this and we check out and we're like, yeah, I'm not doing that today. So when you have a simple strategy that's repeatable, it becomes easy because now we know what to do. We know what to focus on. We can show up and it actually allows us to have more time freedom. Okay. So having a simple, repeatable system that is going to allow you to share your message, serve your clients, build your audience, and enroll paying clients so that you can create not just the income, but also the impact that we're here to make is really, really important. So we're not, again, starting over at square one every time. So the next piece is actually the nurture method. And this truly is, one of my specialties. It is heart-centered marketing and soulful sales. Marketing is simply sharing your message. It's helping your person who can get the best result from you self-identify and say, yeah, that's me. That's all marketing is. So how do we market? We market by showing up in a way that feels good to us. And there are so many ways that you can get in front of your ideal client and help them self-identify. Building relationships, cultivating a community is actually one of my favorite ways. And it's one of the ways that really, really resonates with many of my clients inside of my world. Why? Because it gives people a place to belong and it allows us to cultivate a community of people who are actually looking for the solution that you help them solve. Nurture events are another way that you get to do this without having to give away those 1-hour discovery sessions, right? Or make sales calls where you're trying to close the deal. A sale is only about giving somebody an option to take the natural next step with you. And then there is an actual soulful exchange. There's an exchange of energy from you. There's an exchange of energy for them. And there's also an exchange of currency. The great thing is when you nurture your audience, they're actually getting what they desire. And that's soulful. That feels good and natural and authentic, and it feels in service. Wouldn't it be amazing if we could just build and grow our business in a way that when we're inviting people to actually work with us, it just feels soulful, authentic, and in service. And we're just giving them options to take the natural next step. The way that I was taught, however, was that the way to grow your business was to give away 1-hour discovery sessions, but the discovery sessions were actually sales calls in hiding, right? It was like the intention of that discovery session was to try to build rapport and close the deal. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't feel right to me. And when I stopped doing those, my business literally 10x'd because I no longer felt like I had to try to convince or persuade somebody to work with me on this 1 hour discovery call where I was supposed to try and close the deal. We can't make anybody say yes to working with us. That's not actually our job. Our job is simply to show up and serve and give value, connect with people, be a real person, and give them their natural next step where they get to decide. I just get to show up. I just get to give people choices. So if you're here for all of this, then the next piece is inspired and empowered action, right? So this is actually where implementation happens. And this is what my clients do inside of Activate Abundance Academy. They know that without action, no results can happen. But we want the action not to be hustly or salesy or swarmy or fearful or in doubt. We want it to be empowered and inspired action coming from that abundant mindset that I just talked about with you. We have to be able to take inspired action with belief, right? Believing that it's possible. If you believe it's possible, then opportunities open up for you. So what feels unclear, overwhelming for you to go from invisible to emerging, where you're making 2 to 5K a month? What feels unclear or overwhelming for you? I want you to jot that down. And I also want you to pop that in the chat for me. Okay, great. Where to find clients without spending a lot of money? You do not need to spend money in order to find clients. This is all organic. We are not going to spend a single cent out of your business on ads or investing in other things that are not revenue generators into your business. Okay, offerings. Have clients that work with me on a regular basis. You have to accept first the value and the integrity of your high ticket offer in order for somebody else to buy it. We cannot wait for somebody else to say, oh, that's an amazing deal. Yes, I want it, before we believe in it. So if we are second guessing our pricing and we are saying, oh, nobody's going to buy this, then guess what's going to happen? You're going to get crickets. But here's the thing. We want to have an offer suite because some of your people are going to want high ticket. Some people are going to want mid ticket. Some people are going to want lower ticket. So it just means that if you've tried a couple of times and the answer is crickets, you're either not talking to the right client, right? Or you're not giving them other options that are going to give them a place to start with you before they're ready to move into that high ticket. Barbara says, how to attract potential clients that are willing and able to pay. Many in your ecosystem are chronically sick and struggling financially. This is about making sure that your ideal client is capable and willing, right? We cannot build a business with somebody who's not capable of investing in themselves or willing to do anything about the problem. They have to be both. You get to give them options to support them, either in a maybe it's a high value, high converting lead magnet, maybe it's in a community, and you get to support them there until they are willing to come up with the money. And I will tell you this, I don't believe that people are not financially able to make an investment that's important to them. So we are either being bought into a story that they can't figure it out for themselves, or we get to be empowered leaders to say, I'm happy to help you try to figure this out, but you have to be willing to actually make the change. And if this is important enough to you, there are multiple ways that you can find the money for it. I know that there have been things that you at first glance were like, I can't afford that, but because it was important to you, you found a way to do it. I had to do it when I invested in my first business coach. I said yes to a $10,000 program, and I had $100 in my bank account and 3 little ones to feed. I had to figure it out. I could have said, nope, I'm not financially able to do that, which could have been true to my logical brain. But I said, no, I'm going to figure it out. Why? Because it's important to me and I don't have time to waste. That one investment that I made with my business coach, even when my bank account said no, is why I'm here today with you and why I created over $3 million in my business. But the first thing that needed to happen was I had to believe in me. I had to step into that energy of being an empowered coach and saying, I can do this and I'm worthy of it. And I'm going to allow myself to receive. That's energy and mindset. That's the inner game. Anything else that you learn that I teach you with strategy is going to work better when you start there.